Laureen was born with a silver spoon. Not just silver, but diamond encrusted. Her parents were billionaires, owners of sprawling empires across continents. But unlike most wealthy parents who spoiled their children endlessly, Laureen's parents were firm. They had one peculiar rule. Her father used to say, "Laureen, you will never touch your inheritance until you marry. You must bring home a man, not for show, but for family." At first, Laureen laughed it off. She wasn't in a hurry for marriage. She loved her freedom, her travels, her shopping sprees in Paris, and dinners in Dubai. But as time passed, and her friends settled down while she remained unmarried, pressure mounted. To make matters worse, her entitlement was locked away like treasure in a vault. She could see it, smell it, almost touch it, but it wasn't hers until she had a husband. And Laureen wasn't ready. At least, not for marriage. That's when the idea struck her. A dangerous, clever idea. If her parents demanded a husband, why not hire one? Enter Raphael, a tall, reserved man with striking eyes and a calm aura. Raphael wasn't rich, but he had something Laureen admired: composure. He was the type of man who could walk into a billionaire's mansion and not fidget. That's why she chose him. Laureen called him to a private lunch one sunny afternoon. She leaned forward, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Raphael, I'll make you a deal. Marry me for 6 months. Pretend. Be my husband. At the end of it, I'll pay you off generously and we'll divorce. No strings, no real love. Just business." Raphael raised an eyebrow. "You're asking me to fake a marriage?" Laureen smirked. "Not real couple, just temporary." He hesitated, but the promise of financial security was too strong. Finally, he agreed. And so, the plan was set. The wedding was grand: flashing cameras, champagne fountains, and guests dressed in jewels. Laureen looked stunning in her gown, and Raphael played his role perfectly: the devoted husband. Her parents were overjoyed. The inheritance was released, and Laureen finally had her long-awaited entitlement. Everything was going according to plan. But life has a way of changing plans. The first month passed in ease. They lived together, but kept their distance. She stayed in her wing of the mansion, he in his. They barely spoke except for appearances. But then, something shifted. One evening, when the power went out during a thunderstorm, Laureen found herself in the kitchen, barefoot, holding a candle. Raphael was there too, making tea. They laughed at the darkness, and for the first time, she saw him not as a contract, but as a man. They began talking more, about books, about dreams, about fears. She learned he loved children, though he never had a family of his own. He learned she wasn't just a spoiled billionaire's daughter, but a woman who craved love, trust, and freedom. By the 3rd month, the lines blurred. Pretend kisses became real. Holding hands in public no longer felt staged. And one night, beneath the moonlight on the balcony, Raphael whispered, "Laureen, are we still pretending?" She couldn't answer, because her heart already had. The 6 months passed, but neither of them mentioned divorce. Instead, they built a home filled with laughter, with late-night movies, with quiet dinners. And then one day, Laureen discovered she was pregnant. When she told Raphael, tears filled his eyes. He held her tightly and whispered, "This was never about the money anymore. I love you. I want us." Forever, months later, Laureen gave birth to a baby boy. Small, delicate, with Raphael's eyes. As she held him in her arms, she realized something profound. The inheritance she had fought for, the billions her parents had dangled before her, none of it mattered. Her true entitlement wasn't money, it was love, a family, and the joy of finally finding a partner who cherished her not for wealth, but for who she was. And so, Laureen's plan for a fake marriage gave her the greatest gift of all: a real one.